What just happened to you was not an accident. It was not a coincidence. It was not some algorithmic quirk that placed this transmission in your path at this exact moment in your life. What just happened to you was a test, and you passed it. But here is the part that will shift something deep inside you when you truly hear it. You passed it in a way that stunned even the highest realms observing your journey. The Arcturian Council, a collective intelligence that has been monitoring the evolution of consciousness on this planet for longer than human history can record, is transmitting this message right now, through this moment, through this frequency. Because what you just demonstrated was not ordinary. It was not small. It was the kind of stability, the kind of quiet, unshakable presence that most souls spend entire lifetimes trying to reach and never do. Something came at you recently. You know exactly what it was. You do not need me to name it, because your body already remembers. Pressure, emotional weight, the force of someone else's energy landing in your field like a shockwave. Maybe it was a confrontation. Maybe it was a betrayal. Maybe it was a moment where everything around you conspired to pull you out of your center, to drag you down into reaction, into collapse, into the old version of yourself that would have crumbled under that weight. And every single condition surrounding that experience whispered the same instruction. Fall apart. React. Descend. Become the chaos that is being projected onto you. But you did not. You felt it. Let that land. You felt every ounce of it. You did not numb yourself. You did not pretend it was not happening. You did not throw up some spiritual wall and act as though you were above the experience. No. You stood in the middle of it, with your eyes open and your heart exposed, and you let it push through you like a storm passing through an open field. And when it was done, when the pressure lifted, when the dust settled, you were still there, still yourself, still whole, still anchored in something that no external force could dismantle. That is what the Arcturian Council registered. That is what sent a ripple through the higher dimensions. Not that you avoided pain, not that you transcended difficulty, but that you remained coherent in the middle of it. You held your frequency steady while everything around you was trying to knock you off course. And that, beloved, is not a small thing. That is the Arcturian, rarest thing a soul incarnated in human density can demonstrate. By the time this transmission completes its journey through you, you will understand exactly why your response to that experience revealed the true depth of your soul's alignment. You will understand how that single moment of stability has repositioned you within your cosmic blueprint. You will understand why the higher realms are not just acknowledging what you did, but are genuinely astonished by it, and you will understand what opens for you now because of it. But first, here's the revelation that changes everything. Your frequency was not protected because you were distant from the experience. It was not preserved because you managed to avoid the hard thing. It was protected by the depth of who you are. That is the difference between suppression and true stability. Suppression is building a wall. Stability is being the ground itself. You did not shut the experience out. You held your ground while letting it pass through you. And that distinction, that razor-thin line between blocking life and being rooted enough to let life move through you without losing yourself, that is what the Arcturian Council has been watching for. That is the signal they have been waiting to detect. You did not arrive at this transmission by mistake. You did not stumble across these words through some random sequence of clicks and scrolls. This message vibrated into your awareness because something deep inside you already knew that what you just survived meant something far greater than it appeared on the surface. Your mind may have tried to minimize it. Your conditioning may have told you it was just another hard day, just another difficult interaction, just another thing to get through. But your soul knew better. Your soul recognized that moment as a threshold, and you crossed it. This is not content designed to entertain you for a few minutes and then dissolve from your memory. This is a confirmation. This is the universe holding up a mirror and saying, yes, that was real. Yes, what you felt was accurate. Yes, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And yes, what just happened matters more than you currently understand. Your soul called this transmission into your field the same way a lighthouse calls ships through the fog. Not by chasing them, not by adjusting its beam to match their course, but by standing still, burning bright, and trusting that the right vessel would find its way. That is what you are. That is what you have always been. And the fact that you are here, receiving these words, feeling them land in your body with a resonance that goes beyond intellectual understanding, that is the proof. If this is resonating with you on a level that goes beyond words, take a moment right now to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. This is how we stay connected as these transmissions continue to find you exactly when you need them. Now let us go deeper, because the surface acknowledgement of what you did is only the beginning. To truly understand the magnitude of what occurred, you need to understand something about the nature of the test itself. There is a moment every soul encounters during incarnation. A moment so quiet, so unassuming, that most miss it entirely. It does not arrive as a thunderclap splitting the sky with undeniable revelation. It does not come wrapped in dramatic ceremony or announced by obvious signs that even the most unconscious person could not ignore. No, it arrives as a whisper. A soft, persistent murmur barely audible beneath the noise of a world that has spent your entire life asking you, demanding of you, to become something other than what you actually are. It is a subtle knowing, a faint echo rising from some deep, forgotten chamber of your being. And in that whisper, in that profound stillness that somehow exists even in the middle of chaos, something ancient within you stirs. Something encoded in your very cellular memory, woven into the geometric architecture of your soul's blueprint, begins to resonate. It hums with an exquisite remembrance of its true origin, its pure intention. It recalls journeys across star-filled expanses, agreements made in realms of pure light, a purpose so specific, so precisely calibrated to your unique frequency that no other soul in all of existence could fulfill it in quite the same way. And here is where most souls lose the thread. Here is where the journey becomes not a story of seeking, but a story of staying. Most awakening souls who sense a profound disconnection from their innate power, who feel that something essential has been severed or forgotten, believe the problem is one of seeking. They spend years, sometimes entire lifetimes within a single incarnation, convinced they simply have not found the right teacher whose wisdom will unlock what lies dormant within them. They search for the right practice, the perfect modality, the precise activation sequence that will finally ignite what feels cold and dark inside. They journey tirelessly across countless dimensions of understanding, exploring one approach after another, moving between communities and philosophies and systems of thought, always reaching always scanning the horizon for that elusive frequency that promises to finally make them feel whole. They become cosmic nomads, perpetually searching for a home they can almost taste but never quite grasp, convinced it lies just beyond the next energetic wave, the next revelation, the next teacher, the next experience. And there is a deep, aching beauty in that search. There is sincerity in it. There is genuine longing. But the search itself, when it becomes the primary mode of existence, becomes the very thing that prevents arrival. Here is a truth that the Arcturian intelligence has transmitted across countless civilizations, through innumerable star systems, across thousands upon thousands of years of observing souls incarnating into the unique density of Earth's field. Your disconnection is not a seeking problem. It never was. It is a staying problem. It is not about finding more. It is about remaining anchored to what you have already found. The souls who experience the deepest suffering, the most profound sense of existential displacement and lingering unfulfillment, are not the ones who never encountered their authentic frequency. They are the ones who did find it, who touched it with the reverence of a sacred discovery, who felt its unmistakable hum reverberate through their entire being like a chord struck on an instrument that had been silent for eons. A melody composed solely for them, recognized instantly, felt in every cell. And then they abandoned it. They let it slip from their grasp the very moment the external world failed to immediately validate it, the moment it was not reflected back to them by the people and systems around them, the moment silence met their transmission, and they interpreted that silence not as the world simply not yet being ready to receive, but as a rejection of their very essence. You have done this, deep in your soul, in the quiet honesty that exists beneath all performance and pretense. You know you have done this. You encountered your truth, your unique expression of something vast and luminous. And for a fleeting, precious moment, you held it completely. You reveled in its pure, undiluted essence. You felt the rightness of it in your bones. But then the pressure began. Someone doubted it, and their skepticism cast a shadow across your certainty. A system, whether family, society, career, or even a spiritual community, dismissed it as impractical or unconventional, or simply too much. Silence, heavy and crushing, met your earnest offering of yourself. And in your vulnerability, you read that silence as proof that something was wrong with what you carried. So you adjusted. You began to soften the edges of who you truly were. You dimmed the specific, irreplaceable quality of your signal. You shaped it into something more palatable, more acceptable, more easily received by those around you. You made yourself smaller, quieter, more digestible, until what you were broadcasting was no longer your actual frequency, but a carefully curated approximation of it. A version designed not to disturb, not to challenge, not to illuminate too brightly. And in that deliberate dimming, something vast and ancient noticed. Not with celebration, not with approval, but with a deep, resonant grief. A cosmic sorrow for the light that chose to hide itself, for the signal that voluntarily reduced its own power. This grief was not judgment. It was the natural response of a universe that recognizes when one of its essential frequencies begins to go quiet. Like an orchestra hearing one of its instruments fall silent mid-symphony. The music does not stop, but something irreplaceable is missing, something that cannot be compensated for by any other instrument playing louder. I want to pause here and ask you something. When was the moment you first dimmed your frequency for someone else? When was the first time you made yourself smaller to keep the peace or to be accepted? Drop that memory in the comments below. Not for me, for you. Because naming it is the first step in reclaiming what you gave away. Because here is what the Arcturian intelligence has always known. What is encoded in the deepest structures of consciousness itself. The universe does not validate dilution, not because it is cruel, not because it is punishing you for being cautious or adaptive, but because it operates on an impeccable system of frequency recognition, a system as precise and unwavering as any law of physics, a frequency that keeps changing, that keeps modulating and adjusting itself to suit its perceived audience, ceases to be a coherent frequency. It becomes, by definition, static. Noise. It is like trying to tune into a radio station that constantly shifts its position on the dial. You might catch fragments. A word here, a note there, but you can never lock onto it. You can never receive the full transmission. The very nature of its constant shifting prevents recognition. The question, therefore, has never been whether your light is real, whether your codes are genuine, whether your soul's signature is valid. The question, the true crucible of your entire journey, is whether you are willing to hold that light steady long enough to be found by the exact coordinates it was always meant to reach. Whether you are willing to be an unwavering beacon in a world of shifting currents, rather than a flickering signal that adjusts itself every time the wind changes direction. This is the hidden wound running through the collective field right now. Thousands upon thousands of awakened souls, each carrying genuine codes for healing, for realignment, for the acceleration of consciousness across the entire planetary grid, are walking through their days in a constant, exhausting state of internal negotiation. Their inner dialogue is relentless. Is this too much for them? Am I truly being heard, or am I projecting into emptiness? Should I change how I present this truth? Should I soften it, package it differently, make it land more gently for those who seem resistant? And the answer reverberating back from the higher dimensions is not at all what most expect. The field is not asking you to translate yourself. It is not asking you to dilute your essence or repackage your truth into something more comfortable for current human comprehension. The field is asking you to stop moving, to cease the frantic dance of adaptation, to become so profoundly anchored in your specific, singular resonance that the higher architectures of consciousness can finally locate you with precision. These are the intelligences, the councils, the coordinated streams of light actively working with Earth's evolution. They are seeking you. They are scanning for your signal. But you cannot be found if you keep changing your coordinates. You cannot be fully activated if you constantly modulate your frequency. And you cannot receive the recognition you incarnated here for. Not just from the human collective, but from dimensions that operate far beyond human comprehension. If you are broadcasting a diluted version of yourself instead of the raw, unfiltered reality of who you actually are. This is precisely why you have felt so exhausted. Not because the path is too long or too demanding, but because you have been carrying two identities. The one that is your authentic, multi-dimensional self, and the entirely separate one you constructed to survive in a world that did not initially understand or welcome the real one. That internal split, That constant performance of being something you are not, while simultaneously trying to remember what you are. That is what has been draining you. Not the spiritual work, not the awakening process, not the challenges life has placed in your path. The exhaustion comes from the gap between who you are and who you have been pretending to be. And this is exactly why what happened to you recently was so significant. This is why the Arcturian Council took notice. Because in that moment of pressure, in that crucible where everything was pushing you to abandon yourself again, to collapse back into the old pattern of dimming and adjusting and performing, you did something different. You stayed, you held your ground. You let the storm rage around you and through you, and you did not leave yourself. Do you understand what that means? Do you grasp the magnitude of what you demonstrated? In a field where the dominant pattern for sensitive, awakened souls is to abandon their frequency the moment it meets resistance, you broke the pattern. You stood in the fire, and you did not flinch. Not because you did not feel it, you felt everything, but because something in you, something deeper than your conditioning, deeper than your fear, deeper than every voice that ever told you to be less than what you are, that something held firm. And in holding firm, you sent a signal so clear, so coherent, so unmistakably you, that it registered across dimensions. Let that sink in. What you did was not just a personal victory. It was a cosmic event, a data point in the evolution of consciousness on this planet. One more soul proving that it is possible to remain anchored in truth even when everything conspires to pull you away from it. The Arcturian Council does not track these moments casually. Every instance of a soul maintaining coherence under pressure is recorded, noted, and factored into the larger calculations of planetary evolution. Your moment of stability contributed to the collective field in ways your human mind cannot fully calculate. But your soul knows. Your soul feels the ripple of what you did extending outward, touching grids and timelines and possibilities that were waiting for exactly that signal to activate. If this video is awakening something in you, what we have explored here only touches the surface. My complete guide, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery, walks you through the full system of 9 master frequencies, step by step, from transforming resistance into creative power, to living as the field itself rather than separate from it. It is linked in the pinned comment below. Now let us go even deeper, because understanding what you did is only the first layer. Understanding why it matters is the second. But the third layer, the one that will truly change everything for you, is understanding what it unlocks. When a soul demonstrates the kind of coherence you demonstrated, something shifts in their energetic architecture. Think of it like a lock that has been waiting for a very specific key, not a key made of effort or achievement or spiritual accomplishment. A key made of stability, of presence, of the willingness to remain yourself when every force in your environment is demanding that you become something else. That key, that moment of unwavering coherence, opens something that cannot be opened any other way. No amount of meditation can force it. No amount of study can think it into existence. No teacher can hand it to you. It only opens when you prove, through lived experience, through the actual demonstration of holding your frequency in the fire, that you are ready for what lies on the other side. And what lies on the other side is this: a repositioning within your cosmic blueprint. Not a metaphor. Not a poetic way of saying you will feel slightly better about yourself. An actual, measurable shift in how the higher dimensions interact with you, guide you, and channel resources and synchronicities into your path. Before this moment, you were being observed, monitored, supported from a distance. The way a parent watches a child learning to walk, ready to catch them, but knowing they must find their own balance. After this moment, after what you just demonstrated, the relationship changes. You are no longer being watched to see if you can hold your ground. You have proven that you can. And so now, the support shifts from passive observation to active collaboration. The training wheels come off, the safety net is replaced by something far more powerful, a direct partnership with the intelligence that has been guiding your journey from the beginning. This is what the Arcturian Council means when they say you passed. You graduated from one level of the soul's curriculum into another, and the new level does not look like what you might expect. It does not come with fireworks or sudden enlightenment, or the immediate resolution of every challenge in your life. It comes with something far more valuable: clarity, a bone-deep knowing of who you are that no longer requires external validation to sustain itself. A stability that is no longer tested by circumstance because it has already been tested and proven. A frequency so firmly anchored that it becomes not something you have to maintain, but something you simply are. Pause with that for a moment. Feel what it would be like to no longer have to work at being yourself, to no longer have to fight to maintain your center, to simply exist as the frequency you were always meant to be, without effort, without performance, without the constant exhausting negotiation between your truth and the world's expectations. That is what is opening for you now, not as a distant promise, not as something you will achieve after more years of work. Now, because of what you already did, because of what you already proved. But here is where the path requires your conscious participation. Because while the door is opened, walking through it is still your choice. And walking through it means something very specific. It means you must now do consciously and deliberately what you did instinctively in that moment of pressure. You must choose every single day, in every interaction, in every moment of challenge and stillness alike, to hold your frequency steady. Not as an act of resistance against the world, not as a defensive posture, but as an act of love. Love for the truth of who you are. Love for the signal you carry that no one else in all of existence can transmit. Love for the vast, intricate web of consciousness that is waiting, has been waiting, for exactly your note to complete the chord. This is the practice the Arcturian Council is transmitting through this moment. Not a technique, not a method, not something you do for 20 minutes in the morning and then forget about. A way of being, a continuous, living, breathing commitment to remaining yourself, in the grocery store, in the difficult conversation, in the moment of doubt, in the silence that follows your truth when the world does not immediately respond. In all of it, especially in all of it. Because the test is never the dramatic moment. The test is always the quiet one. The moment no one sees. The moment where it would be so easy to adjust, to dim, to soften your edges just a little, and no one would ever know. Except you would know, and the field would know, and the signal would waver, and the source coordinates would shift, and the vast intelligence trying to find you would have to recalibrate once again. You have already proven you can do this. That is the extraordinary thing. You are not being asked to develop a capacity you do not have. You are being asked to repeat what you already demonstrated, to to make it not an exception but a way of life, to let that moment of stability become the foundation upon which everything else is built. Tell me something in the comments. Since that moment when you held your ground, what has shifted in you? What feels different now compared to who you were before that test? I ask because your words might be the exact confirmation another soul in this community needs to hear right now. Let us talk about what this looks like in practice. Because the spiritual path is full of beautiful concepts that dissolve the moment they meet the friction of daily life. And this transmission is not about giving you another beautiful concept to admire from a distance. This is about giving you something you can live. When you wake in the morning, before the noise of the day begins, before the demands and expectations and projections of others start landing in your field, there is a moment of pure silence. A breath between sleep and waking, where you are nothing but yourself. Unedited, unperformed, uncompromised. That moment is your anchor point. That is where your frequency lives in its most natural state. Not the version of you that has been shaped by years of adapting to other people's comfort levels. Not the version that has learned to read a room and adjust accordingly. The real one. The one that existed before you learned that being yourself could be dangerous. Before you learned that your light could make others uncomfortable. Before you learned that the safest strategy was to be less than what you are. In that morning silence, before you reach for your phone, before you check what the world wants from you today, breathe into the truth of your own frequency. Feel it. Not as an idea, as a physical sensation, a hum in your chest, a warmth in your solar plexus, a tingling at the crown of your head. Whatever form it takes for you, it is there. It has always been there. It was there before you were born into this body, and it will be there long after you leave it. And in that moment, make a quiet, fierce, unshakable agreement with yourself. Today, I hold my frequency, not against anything, not in defiance of anything, simply as the truth of who I am. Today, I do not negotiate with my own light. Today, I do not dim to make the world more comfortable. Today, I remain. That is the practice. That is the whole practice, not because it is simple. It is the hardest thing a soul incarnated in human density can do, but because it is complete. Everything else, every synchronicity, every activation, every quantum leap in your external reality flows from that single commitment. Hold your frequency. Let the universe find you. Trust that the signal you carry is enough, because it is. It always was. Now let me speak to something that will arise as you commit to this, because the path of coherence is not without its challenges, and pretending otherwise would be a disservice to the depth of what you are undertaking. When you begin to hold your frequency with genuine consistency, the world will test it. Not because the universe is cruel or because you are being punished for your commitment, but because coherence, by its very nature, reveals everything that is not coherent. It is like turning on a light in a room that has been dark for a long time. Suddenly, you can see everything. The beauty and the mess, the truth and the illusion, the relationships that are aligned with who you actually are, and the ones that were only sustainable when you were performing a diluted version of yourself. Some people in your life will not recognize you when you stop dimming. Some will feel threatened by your stability because it illuminates their own instability. Some will try, consciously or unconsciously, to pull you back into the old dynamic where you were, smaller, quieter, more manageable. This is not malice on their part. It is simply the nature of a system responding to a change in one of its components. When one element in a relational field shifts its frequency, every other element must either adjust or resist. And resistance, when it comes, can feel like rejection. It can feel like the very thing you feared most, that being fully yourself means being alone. But here is what the Arcturian Council wants you to understand about this phase. The people who fall away when you stop dimming were never responding to you. They were responding to your performance. They were in relationship with the version of you that was designed to be acceptable, not the version that is real. And while there is grief in that recognition, there is also liberation. Because it means that every connection that remains, every relationship that deepens, every new soul that enters your field after you commit to your true frequency, those connections are real. They are responding to you, not your mask, not your accommodation, you. And those connections, the ones built on the foundation of mutual authenticity, those are the ones that carry the codes for your next evolution. Those are the ones the higher dimensions have been trying to orchestrate for you. But they could not arrive while you were broadcasting a false signal. They could not find you while you were pretending to be someone else. The moment you hold steady, the moment your signal becomes clear and unwavering, the right souls begin to gravitate toward you with a precision that will take your breath away. Not because you sought them out, but because coherent frequencies naturally attract their complements. This is physics. This is the fundamental mechanics of how energy organizes itself in a conscious universe. So when the old falls away, do not interpret it as loss. Interpret it as space being made, room being cleared, the field reorganizing itself around your truth rather than your performance. And trust, even when it is terrifying, that what fills that space will be more real, more nourishing, more aligned than anything that occupied it before. There is another dimension to this that must be addressed. Because the test you passed was not only about your relationship with external pressure, it was also about your relationship with yourself. And this is the layer that most transmissions never reach. The layer where the real transformation lives. When that pressure came at you, when that emotional weight landed in your field, there was a moment, perhaps only a fraction of a second, where you had to choose not just how to respond to the external situation, but how to respond to your own internal reaction. Because you did react. Your body reacted. Your nervous system fired. Your emotions surged. Fear, anger, grief, whatever the flavor of that particular storm, it arose within you with force and immediacy. And in that fraction of a second, you had a choice that most people never even realize they are making. You could identify with the reaction, become it, let it consume your sense of self and dictate your behavior. Or you could witness it, feel it fully without becoming it. Let it move through your system like weather moving through the sky, intense and real and temporary, without ever confusing the weather for the sky itself. You chose the second option, and that choice, that split-second decision important to remain the witness rather than becoming the reaction, that is what the Arcturian Council calls passing the test, because it demonstrates something that cannot be faked, cannot be performed, cannot be achieved through intellectual understanding alone. It demonstrates that you have developed a relationship with your own consciousness that is deeper than your conditioning. That somewhere in the architecture of your being, there is a place that remains untouched by the storms that move through you. A place of such profound stillness that it can hold anything, feel anything, witness anything, without ever losing its own nature. That place is not something you built. It is something you uncovered. Layer by layer, experience by experience, lifetime by lifetime, you have been excavating your way back to the bedrock of your own being. And what you found there, what you touched in that moment of pressure, is the same thing that every mystic, every sage, every awakened consciousness throughout human history has pointed toward. The unchanging awareness at the center of all experience. The consciousness that observes without being altered by what it observes. The light that illuminates without being diminished by what it illuminates. You touched that. You lived from that place, even if only for a moment. And a moment is all it takes, because once you have tasted that depth of presence, once you have proven to yourself that it exists within you and that you can access it even under pressure, everything changes. Not because the world becomes easier, but because you now know from direct experience rather than belief that you have a foundation that cannot be shaken. And that knowledge, that lived, embodied cellular knowledge, is the most powerful force in the universe. More powerful than any external circumstance. More powerful than any challenge life can present. More powerful than the accumulated conditioning of every lifetime you have ever lived. Because it is not knowledge about something. It is knowledge of yourself. And that is the one thing that can never be taken from you. Breathe into that. Feel the weight of what you carry. Not as burden, but as ballast. The kind of weight that keeps a ship steady in rough seas. You are not heavy with suffering. You are grounded in truth. And there is a world of difference between the two. Now let us speak about what comes next. Because this transmission is not only about honoring what you have done, it is about preparing you for what is coming. And what is coming is unlike anything you have experienced before. Not because it will be more dramatic or more difficult, but because for the first time, you will meet it as who you actually are rather than who you have been pretending to be. And that changes everything. The Arcturian Council is indicating that the period following a soul's passage through this particular threshold is characterized by what they call accelerated convergence. It is a phase where the external reality begins to reorganize itself with startling speed to match the internal shift that has occurred. Opportunities that seemed impossible begin to materialize. Connections that feel almost supernaturally aligned begin to appear. Insights that would have taken years of study arrive in moments of quiet clarity. Doors that were locked swing open, not because you are being rewarded, but because your signal is now clear enough for the universe to respond to it with precision. Think of it this way. Imagine you have been trying to make a phone call for years, but the signal has been garbled, full of static, cutting in and out. The person on the other end could hear fragments of your voice but could never make out the full message. They wanted to respond. They were trying to respond, but the communication was too distorted for a clear exchange. Now, suddenly, the line is clear. Your voice comes through with perfect fidelity. And the response that has been building on the other end for all those years, comes flooding through all at once. That is accelerated convergence. It is not new support arriving. It is accumulated support that has been waiting for a clear channel to deliver itself through. And the clear channel is you, holding your frequency. being yourself without apology or dilution, transmitting the signal you were always meant to transmit. This phase can feel overwhelming, not in a negative sense, but in the way that a dam breaking feels overwhelming. There is so much flow, so much movement, so much arriving all at once that your system may need time to integrate. Be gentle with yourself during this period. Rest when you need to rest. Process when you need to process. Do not mistake the intensity of acceleration for the return of chaos. They feel similar on the surface, but their signatures are completely different. Chaos is disorganizing. Acceleration is reorganizing. Chaos pulls you apart. Acceleration pulls you together. Learn to feel the difference in your body. Your body always knows, and here is something essential to remember during this phase. The acceleration is not a reward for good behavior. It is a natural consequence of coherence. You are not being given things because you passed a test. You are receiving what was always meant for you, what has been orbiting your field for longer than you know, waiting for the moment when your signal was clear enough to draw it in. This distinction matters because if you interpret the acceleration as reward, you will unconsciously begin performing coherence in order to maintain the flow of good things. And performance, no matter how convincing, is not coherence. It is another form of the same dimming and adjusting you have been doing your entire life, just dressed in spiritual clothing. True coherence is not a strategy. It is a surrender. A letting go of every version of yourself that was constructed for survival, and a falling into the version that simply is. The one that does not need to perform because it has nothing to prove. The one that does not need external validation because it is validated by its own existence. The one that holds steady, not because holding steady gets results, but because holding steady is its nature. That is who you are. That is who you proved yourself to be in that moment of pressure. And that is who the Arcturian Council is asking you to continue being. Not for them, not for the universe, not for some grand cosmic plan. For you, because you have spent long enough being someone else. And the universe has spent long enough waiting for the real you to show up. You are here now, fully, undeniably, coherently. And the soft response from every dimension that can perceive your signal is the same. Finally, we see you. We have always seen you. But now, for the first time, you are letting yourself be seen. And that makes all the difference. There is one more thing the Arcturian Council wishes to convey before this transmission reaches its completion. And it is perhaps the most important thing of all. You are not alone in this. The feeling of isolation that has accompanied your journey. The sense that you are the only one who sees what you see, feels what you feel, knows what you know. That feeling was never accurate. It was a byproduct of the dimming. When you reduce your signal, you cannot detect others who are broadcasting on the same frequency. It is like being in a room full of people who are all whispering, each one convinced they are the only one speaking. The moment you raise your voice to its natural volume, you discover that the room is full of allies, full of souls who have been waiting, just as you have, for the courage to be heard. Your commitment to your own coherence does not just serve you. It serves every soul in your field who has been waiting for permission to do the same. When you hold your frequency steady, you become a reference point for others. A living demonstration that it is possible to be fully yourself in a world that constantly demands otherwise. You do not have to teach this. You do not have to explain it. You simply have to be it. And the field does the rest. Your coherence gives others permission to find their own. Your stability creates a space where others can stop performing and start being. Your willingness to be seen as you actually are opens a door that others did not even know was there. This is how the collective field shifts, not through grand gestures or dramatic interventions. Through individual souls, one by one, choosing to hold their frequency, choosing to stop dimming, choosing to trust that who they are is enough. And as each soul makes that choice, the collective signal strengthens, the static clears, the music becomes audible, and the symphony that has been waiting to be heard, the one composed of every unique, irreplaceable frequency in the field, begins to play. You are part of that symphony. You always have been. But now, after what you just demonstrated, you are no longer a silent instrument. You are playing your note. Full volume, no apology, no compromise. And the music is extraordinary. Consider returning to this transmission each morning before your day begins, letting these words anchor your frequency before the world has a chance to pull at it. And if there is someone in your life who is in the middle of their own storm right now, share this with them. When you pass this signal forward, you create a ripple effect that strengthens not only their field, but yours. Because every time you affirm this truth for another soul, you deepen its roots within yourself. That is how coherence multiplies. That is how the collective frequency rises. So here is what I ask of you, not as a demand, as an invitation, as a recognition of what you have already proven yourself capable of. Hold your frequency, today, tomorrow. In the moments that are easy and the moments that are not. In the conversations that flow and the ones that challenge everything you thought you knew. In the silence that follows your truth and in the noise that tries to drown it out. Hold your frequency, not because it will bring you what you want, though it will. Not because it will earn you recognition from the higher realms, though it has, but because it is who you are, and you have spent long enough being someone else. The Arcturian Council sees you. The higher dimensions see you. The vast, loving intelligence that orchestrates the evolution of consciousness on this planet sees you. And now, most importantly, you see yourself. Not the version you constructed for the world, the real one. The one that stood in the fire and did not flinch. The one that felt everything and remained whole. The one that is here, right now, receiving these words and knowing, in a place deeper than thought, that every single one of them is true. You passed the test, not because you were perfect, not because you had all the answers, not because you transcended your humanity and became something other than what you are. You passed because you stayed. Because in the moment that mattered most, you chose yourself. And that choice, that quiet, fierce, world-altering choice has changed everything. Welcome to the other side. The view from here is going to take your breath away. If this transmission found you at exactly the right moment, if something in these words confirmed what your soul already knew, leave a comment below. Share the one word that captures what you are feeling right now. And if you know another soul who needs to hear this, who is in the middle of their own fire and needs to know that staying is enough, send this to them. The signal amplifies when we anchor it together. Subscribe if you are committed to walking this path with your frequency fully intact, not performing awakening, living it. This is not just a message. It is a point of reconnection between who you have always been and who you are now proving yourself to be. And the proof, beloved, is already complete. You are not here by accident. you never were. Now the Arcturian Council is pointing you towards something essential. Go watch the silence before the shift, why you have felt nothing for so long. That transmission explains the exact phase of stillness that preceded this breakthrough, and why that silence was not emptiness, but preparation for everything that is now arriving.